Hey lads, and welcome back to another NRL Fantasy Fanatics video. And tonight we've got a Vegas round wrap up for you. We'll just be going through the Raiders Warriors game and the Penrith and Sharkies game. A lot to talk about. As always, joined by Will. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, good, good. Let's get right into it. We've got Raiders Warriors here, 30 to 8 win for the Raiders. Very dominant, and Warriors looked absolutely hopeless. Sorry to all Wars fans, but it's almost true. Well, it is true. So let's get right into it. At the top, 69 points with two tries and seven tackle busts. Xavier Savage, one who I didn't see coming. 5% owned, which I couldn't believe. I thought he'd be about two or three. But did you watch the game, Will? I thought that he was very impressive.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't watch
but
much of it, but from what I saw, he looks very, very good.
he did. Do you still, with that massive score, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to bring him right in. Do you agree with that move?
Well, he got suspended, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Oh, correct. For one game. He's out for one. So yeah, correcting
Yes.
myself. Do not bring him in.
No, did not
But
at all.
he's obviously not going to score two tries every game and get a line break and seven tackle busts with all those and 218 meters gained. That's not going to happen every week. So that I wouldn't say it's an anomaly, but it just won't happen every week. So I'd probably still stay away from him, especially with the suspension. Second up, Hudson Young. Not owned, yeah, 1.7% owned. Those people would be laughing. Do you have any considerations for Hudson, or are you just gonna hold off and let him go?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold off and let him go. I've already got Zach Hosking, and yeah, I think it's one or
Yeah,
the other. He's always been a very, very good fantasy player, though. Young and always one
ex
that's kind of gone under the radar, I think.
exactly. If you just move two down, we got Zach Hosking here, owned by 16% of teams. One who we had as a buy, 62 points from 66 minutes, just three under Hudson Young for 140k cheaper. He played great. Once again, as said by John Hosking, we had on the channel a few episodes ago. 44 tackles, makes so many, didn't miss a tackle from 44. That is absolutely mental. So that's just what you got to come to expect. And Sasagi, I think, did take, or Mariota did take his minutes, but they only took 14, which, God, at that price and with those minutes and with the break even he's about to have, if you don't own him, you got to get him in. You got to find a way. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I think, yeah, you got to find a way to get him in. His minutes should increase now for all those suspensions too. I wouldn't, uh, wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah, the rotation should chop and change around. Hopefully, Hosking, even if he doesn't get an any minute increase, 66 minutes is all you need from him. As you can see, 62 points. I expect him to average 55 to high 65. So get him in your team if you don't have him. Wade Egan, one who I didn't really have any interest in preseason. Good start from him. 51 tackles with two misses. Just obviously in an injury's right around the corner for Wade. So I wouldn't hop on him straight away. Give him a few weeks if he stays fit and then maybe consider him. But no no interest there at the moment. Jamal Fogarty, one who you had in your team for preseason, who you didn't end up going with, looked very good. No, not too many attacking stats. Well, none at all really. No try assists, no line break assists or anything like that. Made some good tackles. Kicked almost every goal for the Raiders. Do you have any interest in Jamal? If you want to cash down on Cleary later on in the year, maybe.
Yeah, well, I've had a lot of interest in Jamal. I think he's a very good player and has a very, very good base on him. But yeah, I think that just you have to go off Cleary. Cleary's a must-have, and
Yeah.
that for me was the reason that I didn't think I could start with two gun halves. But now with Metcalf going low, I definitely could start with two gun
Yeah.
halves. I think.
Exactly. We'll get to Cleary later, but a lot to talk about on him. One who we also listed as a watch before there was the Isaiah Papali'i, no, Josh Papali'i to 13, which increased Corey Horsburgh's minutes. 55 points from 59 minutes is absolutely nuts. Even him getting 60 minutes is ridiculous. 34 tackles, 123 run meters. Absolute beast. He was great. Um, he is now a must-have with the news of Tapine suspended for 2 to 3 weeks, I think, for that shoulder charge on Mitch Barnett. So you've got to have him. You've got to have him now. Find a way to get him in your team. I'm sure you'd agree with that, Will.
Yeah, definitely as close to a must-have as you can get. I think, yeah, he looks really, really good, and I think you'd really be annoyed if you missed out on having him in your team.
Exactly. At halftime, he was on 37 points from 40 minutes and then got taken off for a little stint and then came back on. But you got to have him now. Morgan Smithies off the bench looked very solid. Obviously, with that rotation, I just probably wouldn't look at him. 57 minutes is good and all, but you never know what's going to happen with Ricky Stewart, so I'd stay away from him. James Fisher Harris, pretty highly owned at 12.7%, 600K. One who we thought was a bit of a watch to see if he would fit into the system, but clearly he has already. 51 points from 46 minutes. Do you think Fisher Harris could become an option in a few weeks if you want to cash down a gun mid?
Yeah, definitely could. I think that his price would definitely go up. Didn't really get the minutes that I wanted him to if I was going to be keen on him, but yeah, very good PPM. I think if we see a minute increase, he could definitely be close to a must-have.
Exactly, I agree. Um, Another one who we thought was a bit of a risky one, Tom Starling, 51 points from 68 minutes. That's just what you got to come to expect with him when he gets the minutes. I did expect Owen Paddy to get a few more, if I'm honest. I thought he'd get 20, or he did get 19, but I thought Starling would only get about 50 to 60, not 68. If he can continue that, do you reckon he's a I think he's a good option as a mid-range hooker to cheapy hooker.
Yeah, he's one that I was really interested in over the preseason, and I just couldn't fit him in. I did think Paddy would get more, but now if Paddy going low minutes and knowing that historically the hookers for the Raiders off the bench haven't scored high at all, I think this is a little bit of an anomaly, but a really good game for Tom here, and a lot of running meters. We all know Tom likes to run. I would have a lot of interest in Tom personally.
Yeah, the Raiders do love Owen Paddy, and he looked very good. So that's my only concern there. Moving on, Seb Chris, not fantasy relevant, unfortunately. Um, 2 tries, played very well. Only the three missed tackles for him, or three errors, sorry. But yeah, 50 points, played well. Just don't consider him, I don't reckon. Mitch Barnett, one who I sort of fell for in the last late mail. 49 points from 51 minutes. You'd take that every day. He just needs the minutes. If he can get 10 more, if he can get 60 minutes, he can easily pump out 60 to 65 at lock. And he was an absolute tackling machine. Once again, same as Hosking, did not miss a tackle when he was on the field from 39 attempts. Absolutely insane. He's just got to get the minutes. Do you reckon, are you going to look at him, Will, if he can start to get 60 minutes, 60 plus?
Maybe. I mean, he's starting at 13 and still pumped out a 49, which is pretty good for his PPM. So yeah, you'd be happy with that. But I just don't think that I can really go near him. I don't like Mitch. I think he's really overpriced, and I think there's a lot of other options you can look towards at this less price or the same price as him.
Yeah, me personally, I'm obviously going to hold him now. I'm not going to rage trade him. But moving on, someone who we talked up all preseason and then I didn't go with just because I thought Albert Hopewadi would take a spot. Savelio Tamale was, I think, one of the best players on the field. Was absolute beast, like we talked about in his New South Wales Cup. Absolute beast. Second game for in the NRL, and looks like he's been playing for years. 49 points from 80 minutes. Just look at those stats. 216 running meters. What's that? 7 tackle busts. It's just what you got to come to expect. And with a performance like that, I don't think Hopewadi is getting back in the team. So
Well,
I might look. What's that? Sorry.
Savage is injured, so he might.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, that's good then if he can get back on that other wing. But Savage will then take his spot. So Tamale, I personally don't own him, and I'll probably be looking to get him if I want to do a cash down option. Great game from him. If you own him, you're 25%. If you own him, you're absolutely laughing. Um, Jackson Ford, one who got moved to prop in the late mail, 45 points from 51 minutes. Pretty solid for him. 35 tackles with 2 misses. Um, Any interest there in Jackson Ford for you? Should get that mid-edge duel if he continues playing prop.
Yeah, maybe a little in him. Yeah, not much at this price. I think he's a little bit overrated, but yeah, if he can pump out a couple big scores and yeah, get some big minutes, I could look at him definitely. But as of right now, no, I got none in him.
Yeah, me. Yeah, likewise. Channel Harris Tavita, one who I was tossing up in preseason. Shame for Metcalf. I feel like Harris, they split the kicking pretty evenly, as you can see. Harris Tavita, 280 kicking meters. He had a great game. One of the better players for the Warriors, a try assist, 42 points, 350K could really start to pile on the money. Hopefully the Warriors can be better than that and you can see scores of upwards of 50. So I have a little interest in him, but just not at the moment. Maybe potentially in a few weeks, just not at the moment. One who was disappointing, Joey Tarpany, 41 points from 45 minutes with a sin bin, which did hurt him a little. Um, yeah, look, for 717K, you just can't justify that from him. He'll be likely suspended for 2 to 3 weeks now, so he's got to be a sell for the 3.8% of teams that own him. Josh Pabali'i, great PPM, 41 points from 37 minutes at lock. Just the minutes aren't there, so avoid. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck was pretty good for the Warriors. Scored a try. Commentators love him, so they talked him up, but not quite a fantasy option in a Warriors team. I'm tipping to go bottom four. Moving on here. Aaron Clark, one who we had as a watch, and I think he'll continue to be a watch. Do you have anything to add on Aaron Clark there?
Yeah, just not a very good PPM from Aaron, and yeah, I think you see him and Walker about got 91 minutes between them, so you'd say only the 11-minute stint at hooker for Aaron. Did Wade play 80 minutes or not? Can you check that quickly?
I can. He did. He did.
Yeah, so he must have come into the forward rotation, which I don't know how well you can rely on that there. So yeah, I think he's one to definitely get the start until at least Dylan Walker's out of the team, or you see a bigger increase and improved scoring from him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, continue to watch him. Minutes aren't there at the moment, so I'd avoid until further notice. Kurt Capewell, most fantasy irrelevant player of all time, scored a try and got 27. We'll move on. Pompey, Weeks, Neokore, Mariota, Leitua, Taupiki. Not much to add on them, just not their best game. One we have to talk about, Metcalf. Disappointing, owned by 38% of teams. Just couldn't get it going, unfortunately. The Warriors in general could not get an attack going. Too many missed tackles, a liability on defense. Seven missed tackles. What are your plans with Metcalf for the future?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely going to keep him. He did end up getting to a 24, which still isn't amazing, but definitely definitely something that I can live with. He showed no, if he didn't miss as many tackles, he doesn't score as low there, and no attacking stats there, which I really do think he'll get. So yeah, I do think if they can improve, he'll do improve, and it was just kind of a bad game for him.
Yeah, if he tightened up on the missed tackles, say only got two, that'd add, and the errors, that's an extra 14 points. So you see him on 35, which with absolutely no attacking stats, that's pretty good. So the base is there. He just needs to tighten up a bit. That just about sums up that game. We'll move on to the Sharkies and Panthers. All right, starting at the top, Isaiah Yo, one who I got rid of in my team in the last 2 days of fantasy preseason, and it has killed me. I think he did end up on 68 points, not 70, but scored a try, which I think he scored about five, 6 or 7 tries in his career. So you just can't rely on that. A line break as well, which was the try, I think. 43 tackles with 2 misses, very efficient as always. 3 tackle busts, 147 running meters. Look, he did hurt us. Will, as you don't own him as well. Anything to add there on Yo?
Yeah, well, a couple of low or more negatives than usual for Yohan had shades that he could be going low with a 55 maybe, or even a less than 55 with a 50 if he didn't score that try with a couple of tackle busts there and a line break try. But yeah, we all know what Yo can do. He finds a way to always get to 70 no matter what. And
Yeah,
yeah, I think Yo's definitely one you hold and look to buy earlier down the year.
yeah,
But if you don't
exactly.
have him in, you know, with McInnes, I mean, it's not as bad It's still 13 points down, but in less minutes, I think McInnes showed better signs almost for owners than Yo did.
Yeah, 160k cheaper as well, so that's always good. One who we hadn't as an avoid, Adam Fanua Blake pumped out 68 points from 54 minutes with a try and 190 running meters, which is very good for him. I still think I can't justify buying him because obviously the bloke's not going to score a try every week, and if he didn't score that try, I reckon he'd be high 40s to mid 50s. So I still can't find a way to get Fanua Blake in my team. Do you feel the same, or do you have a bit of conflicting views?
Yeah, well, he did get the lower minutes as you said, and yeah, I can't really find a way to get him in my team either. I don't really think that without that try he goes low, and yeah, I don't at all have any interest in him. So yeah, I think it's one that you kind of let go through.
Yeah, I agree. Another thing with the minutes, 55 minutes for a prop of Adam Fanua Blake's size is actually pretty good. The reason I think he got that many is just simply because they're versing the 4-time reigning premiers, and they wanted to leave their best players on the field. So I feel like next week when the Sharks versus a weaker team, I think he'll get high 40s to low 50s, maybe maxing out at around 50. I just think they left him on due to the fact they're versing Penrith. Blake Brayley, one who 4% of people own, and they're absolutely laughing. 61 tackles, which is absolutely nuts with two misses. Is there any interest in Brayley for you at all?
Yeah, I've always been a massive Brayley fan, and I kind of always got rid of like not overlooked him because of no attacking stats, but always been a very good defensive player, and I think one that could definitely take his game to the next level. But I think we have to see a couple more bigger scores because, well, we know he loves the 40 there.
Yeah, exactly. If he can back the 60 up with two 50s or a 55, then I will very much consider having him as a mid to gun tier hooker. Jesse Ramian, another bloke who played very well, 60 points. Unfortunately, I just feel he's a little overpriced and he's not going to score a try or pump out anywhere near those points every game. So I'd stay clear of that. One who me and Will, we both had in our teams, Cam McInnes as a pod, 2.5% owned, 57 points from 53 minutes. Worrying signs for McInnes, or are you still happy with that, with the minutes he's getting?
Well, I think he was definitely the best player on that team, and or at least down the middle, looked to defend really well once again. And 43 tackles for zero misses is crazy. I think they need to be playing McInnes 65 plus minutes, but he only gets 53 there. So yeah, not worrying signs, but I didn't love how many minutes he played. I hope he gets a bit more, but for me to sell him, I think he's got to be going under 50 minutes and 50
Yeah.
points. And yeah, 57, I'm happy enough with. So yeah, I'll be holding until he kind of has a decrease in minutes or an increase, or we see a injury because I think an increase could be coming.
Yeah, I do agree. I think the increase in minutes will come before the decrease. So if you own him like me and Will do, you gotta hold him. 57 points is you'll take that every day. One who also got 50 points, Brighton Nickera. One who I owned last year, however, look, 57 points with a try, 32 tackles, 64 running meters. Didn't really receive the ball much other than his try. I just don't have any interest in Nicker at the moment with the amount of edges in the game, like Hosking, who's going to back up those 60 scores. I just don't feel Nicker will. So we'll move on. Um, Nathan Cleary, 56 points, I think. Yeah, 56, that's what it finished on. A try assist, 19 tackles, a few errors. Missed tackles, sorry, no errors. Um, Look, bit of a quieter game for Cleary, and he still managed to get 55. He had a 40-20 that should have been ruled and a try that also should have been ruled. So it could have easily been a low 70s, and then you would have had the best captaincy option of the week, really, other than Yo. Look, if you're unclear, you can't rage trade him after that. Like, why would you do that? He's still going to pump out the 65, 70s every week after this, I reckon. He does have history of starting slow, but shouldn't deter you at all. Moving on, Lindsay Smith, not much to say. Great game from him, just 1.4% owned. I just can't see that happening. Um,
I think he could be an option
I
actually.
can't. You reckon
Yeah, I think
600k?
he did get a little bit of more minutes with Liam Henry, but Fisher Harris when playing bigger minutes when playing not uninjured, had to play these type of minutes. And Smith has pumped out scores like this before, and I think he's just such a hard worker that if he can keep that starting prop role, he could be pumping out 55 consistently, like
Yeah,
you see there. That he had an eight, he had 10 negatives there, and still got
yeah.
54. So he could have gone 64 in 60 minutes, and an incredible PPM. I think it's one that comes with risk, but I think it would almost be a risk that I'm willing to take.
Yeah, with Liam Henry coming back soon, I can't justify it myself with also Sorensen, and the spine they have there at the Panthers. I just can't justify it. 600K as well. I feel like if he had a five or a high four next to his name, then I'd pick him up. But 600K with the mids in fantasy, with Connor Watson just a little bit more expensive, I can't see it. Don't worry, not much to say there. Two tries, inflated his score. Move on. Edwards, owned by 10% of people. Look, started off the game really scrappy. Few errors there, few loose passes. Sort of came back. I don't think you'd take a 49 from him at that price, but he's Mr. Consistent. He will go back to averaging high 50s. So just hold him if you have him. Wouldn't look to buy. Liam Martin was an absolute unit out there, putting shots on whenever he wanted. 49 points, 525K, 7.7% owned. Is there any interest in Martin for you, or is he just up and down?
Now, way too up and down for me. I'm letting Martin definitely go, and I always have been letting Martin go.
Yeah, similar thing with Wilton for me here. I think he's the CEO of averaging low 40s, and yeah, 1.1% owned. I think the public agree. 34 tackles with two missed tackles, which is pretty good. But look, there's nothing attacking there. I just doesn't score tries often. I just let him go as well. Trindle, one who was tipped to play at seven, but he played six. Pretty good base, really. Um, two tries this, which is great for him. 15 tackles. No, he kicked a lot. 536 meters. Do you have any interest in Trindle at all?
Um, nah, not a lot. I think with him next to Hines, they just kind of split the kicking, and Trindle is goal kicking,
You
isn't it?
sure?
Or is Hines goal kicking?
Look at it. Um, no, I think Hines. Let's just have a look here. Goals. No, neither of them kicked. Oh no, Trindle kicked. Trindle kicked.
Yeah, so
Trindle
it's
is on kicking, and look at that split. 536 meters to 164. So clearly Trindle is the one they're going for there, playing more of a seven role. I actually am interested in Trindle. I don't know about you.
yeah. Well, I mean, he's always done this, and I think that they're just gonna change too much. I just think Hines is still playing seven, so he still might kick, but I don't have interest in any of them to be honest. I think there's more halves that I would look at around Trindle's price or cheaper than him. Are
Yeah,
you
maybe
interested?
like a Jerome Lillard
Yeah, are you
you'd look
interested
at
in
over
them or not?
Trindle. In Trindle or Lillard?
Trindle.
Yeah, a little bit, he's watch this space. He could, in a few weeks, I might actually pick him up if I want to upgrade Metcalf or something like that. He's just playing that seven role, even though he's in the six jersey. So watch out. He could be in people's teams in a few weeks. Garner, move to center. We'll get the center edge duel. No interest in Garner, unfortunately. Played pretty well, just no interest. Along with Kenny, 43 points from 80 minutes. Too many missed tackles. Bit of a defensive liability, unfortunately. So move on as well. Nico Hines, 41 points after a quick start with a try assist in the first 5 minutes. He really did not do much afterwards. No kicking, not much attacking stats other than that try assist. If you owned Hines, what would you be doing or thinking at the moment?
Yeah, well, if I owned Hines, I would I'd be looking to sell him. I think didn't look good, and yeah, you say that try assist, he got up to a very good start. But I mean, he's not conversion kicking, he's not kicking in play. Um, I just don't see much at 825K at all to keep him. Like you've got a cleary who you can go to. You've got many players you
Yeah,
can go to, like you've got Carrigan, you've got McInnes, you've got Horsbrough, you've got Hosking, you've got Grant, you've got there's many more players. Even Fogarty. Like if you had Hines in your halves, I'd downgrade him straight to Fogarty, who I think is their main goal kicker and their main in-play
yeah.
kicker, which with higher base. What would you do?
if I had Hines and I'd gone Hines over Cleary, I don't think I could justify getting rid of Hines because I've antipoded Cleary for a reason. I feel like you just got to hold Hines until you can't do it with him. You just got to hold him um, until he gets a bad score. But for the next 3 weeks, just see how he goes. He should get back up to that 55, hopefully. But even at 55, it's not great. But you've got Hines for a reason, so stick with him. Isaiah Papali'i, one who we hadn't as a void, and for fair enough reason, 49 minutes, which is actually pretty solid. PPM's great, 25 tackles in 49 minutes, and not too many errors, which is good as well. Um, I'm still looking to avoid Isaiah Papali'i. What about you?
Yeah, I don't have much interest in Isaiah at all. I think it's one that I'll avoid until and if he gets that starting spot. But other than that, I'm yeah letting him fade through. And
Yeah,
yeah, I just think his PPM's too low and not enough for me to really justify getting him.
yeah, agreed. Kale Iro, cheapie of the year last year, a try for 41, not good enough. Move on. Moses Leota, another one you could move on with. 40 points from 40 minutes, great PPM, minutes just aren't there, and he's most likely not going to go at 1 PPM every week. Will Kennedy, um, yeah, probably one of the most boring vanilla wing fullbacks in the comp. And look, try assist, he actually played pretty well. Under the high ball was great. 40 points with a try assist and a few attacking stats, you just can't. So move on. Even at 385k, move on. Alamotti on the wing, not too bad. 39 points with a try. Again, unless he's playing in the centers, I'm not interested in Alamotti. One we had as a watch, Scott Sorensen. 36 points from 52 minutes. I just don't think the minutes are there to justify picking him up. Do you agree with that, Will?
Yeah, I definitely don't think that the minutes are there for him. He started on the edge, and I think that Papali'i moved to the edge, which is why he didn't get all those minutes there. If he was to get 80, I'd pick him up. Like if he got an 80 game, he probably gets 55 to 60 there and looks quite good. But until he gets that 80 minutes and Papali'i's gone off the bench, I'm not looking at him at all.
Yeah, agreed. Isaac Tungo, one who we had a little interest in as a pod, scored a try and still 29 points with 14 points of error. That's just not good enough. As a owner, you own him, Will. So what do you have to say about him?
Yeah, I'm not overly angry with Isaac. Like, Vista would have liked the 40, but that try just came from a put down off a cleary kick. So he doesn't really get many tackle busts or line breaks there. And he showed some good signs. I think against a lower team, he can definitely go higher there. But with those 14 negatives, I'm a little bit pissed. But yeah, look, he had a good base with about 33 there. So yeah, I think if he can keep that base of 33, playing next to Cleary, he's going to get attacking stats. So I don't think it's the end of the world for Tungo and one that I'll definitely be holding until at least round five.
Yeah, that's sounds like a plan. Jack Cole, another one who was a little disappointing. Another one, a bit of a defensive liability, unfortunately. 12 points of error, which would have seen him at scores of 41 if he didn't miss so many tackles. 41 you definitely take from Cole, 29 not so much. He should get the spot for a few weeks, so just keep him in your team, plug him away on your emergencies, maybe loop him here or there and see how he goes. Currently I've got him looped. Not sure if I'll take his point. We'll see if Hubner gets the role I want him to. But if you got Cole, don't rage trade him. Just leave him. He might be a slow burn, but just leave him in there. Um, Rest of the players, not much to talk about there. Some very low scores, but none of them are really fantasy relevant. All right, so we'll move on to our teams. See how we're looking after round first two games. Me personally, Cole sitting there in the emergencies. Wait, oh, this is your team. Sorry, not mine. Yeah, you didn't loop Cole, which is fair enough, but you are looping. Oh, you're not looping anyone anymore. That's fair enough. You got McInnes, Horsburgh, Hosking, three scores you'd absolutely take. Cleary as well, you'd take that as well. I guess 56, it's good enough. Tungo and Metcalf, the only concerns. You wouldn't be looking to move them on, would you? You just keep them for the next 5 weeks.
Maybe not Metcalf. I think I'll give Metcalf definitely another week. But if he doesn't show better signs and more of an attacking upside, and I think if Harris Tavita keeps kicking next week, I will yeah, look to see who maybe I can move him on. But I think I already have too many cash cows in my team, and for now, I'm in one bad game. If he made those two conversion kicks, he get to 30 because he's been updated to 24, and I mean a
Oh
30,
yeah,
I can kind of take a 30 there for his price.
yeah,
Is what it is.
I do agree.
Just so you know,
Yeah,
Lindsay Smith updated to 67 fantasy points.
what was he on before?
He was on 54.
What the hell? How do you get so many ghosties? Holy!
No idea.
But looking at your team, pretty similar to mine. Mazu, Iongi, Ponga, Toya, White, May, and Mamazulis, and Watson, your main ones to play. You're in a good spot, I'd say. Yeah, see how it plays out after the round finishes. That is your team again. Um, oh, I've made a mess here. We'll get to my team in another video. That's all we got for you tonight, guys. My team's on about 360-ish points, which is pretty good for me. And yeah, I can really live with that. So we'll wrap it up there. Anything to add, Will, before we close off?
Nah, not really. I just think, yeah, don't rage trade players. I mean, everyone goes low, and I think that you chose them for a reason. Free week rule, and yeah, just good luck to your teams, and DM's always open. And yeah, I'm pumped for
Exactly.
TLT. It'll give us a lot of answers that we need. A lot of answers we need.
Yeah, exactly. Just another thing, as you were saying, don't rage trade. You're gonna need those trades at the end of the year. It happens every year. People run out of trades and are just relying on the 8 bonus ones you get towards the end. Don't rage trade. Hold your trades. You'll be much better off. And yeah, TLT video will come out tomorrow. Very keen for it. Should like you said, give us some answers. Yeah, DMs are always open. Thanks for all the support on YouTube and Instagram. We're just gonna keep pumping out videos. So we'll see you in the next one tomorrow.
Cheers,
See you
guys. Have a
guys.
good one.